Well, the new midterm polling is out. And if the midterm was held today because of Donald Trump's unpopularity and that of his policies, the Democrats would win by plus 3 points, 48% to 46% in a congressional race. And to remind everybody, the midterm is only about Donald Trump and anybody with an R next to their name, because there is no sleepy Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Barack Hussein Obama. It's just thumbs up or thumbs down on Trump. Are you better off than you were 2 years ago? Are we better off than we were 85 days ago? We already know the answer to that, but now it's seeped into the water supply and into new polling. That is important. Donald Trump only has one issue that he is ahead on in terms of favorable versus unfavorable, and that is immigration. And he is riding and beating that horse to death. Sorry about the imagery, but the negative pollings are an early indicator of that public opinion has turned on Donald Trump. We knew it would wreck the economy, take away people's retirement opportunities and their funds and their ability to have dignity and support themselves, do it in an erratic way, destroy the Department of Justice, destroy the Department of Defense, make us less secure. It's going to end up in polling, and it has now. I'm going to report on it right now and tie it all together for you on Legal AF. You know where this is going. I want to continue to grow the channel. I want to continue to bring on new people and new voices. I want to continue to bring you the content that you've been waiting for and that you want. I want to do it all. I need you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Help us continue to grow this pro-democracy channel. All right, let's talk about the polling. It's very exciting. Now, a couple of days ago, CNN did some polling and said the only issue that is in favor of Donald Trump, the only place where he has any type of advantage, and it's a 1-point advantage, is on immigration. Everything else, he's 10, 15, 20 points underwater between favorable and unfavorable. And no matter how Fox News or Newsmax try to spin it, or the Trump administration, you see they don't talk about polling much. You don't see Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, talking about polling much. No matter how much they want to spin it, these are terrible numbers. Donald Trump is lower than any president has ever been at this juncture in a presidency. He's 5 or 8 points lower than Joe Biden, and he didn't like Joe Biden much. Now, he's a couple of points better than his first term, but that's not saying much. That's like trying to figure out which seat on the Titanic you want to sit on. Oh, I don't want to sit there. I want to sit over there. Who cares? You're all going down. This is like the Titanic. It's not like the Trump administration is not like the Hindenburg, right? It didn't just explode in the first few minutes. Oh, the horror of it, and fall to the ground in embers, right? It hit an iceberg on Jan 20, and it's been taken on water ever since. And you remember that picture. Eventually, it just goes straight down, and we're all trying to get off the Titanic in the meantime. Listen to these new numbers that just came out. This is about public support in Congress and the like. April 16th polling, 1,000 registered voters coming out, including by a company run by Scott Rasmussen, who founded it. They found that if the election for Congress was held today, meaning all the seats in the House and half the Senate, 48% would vote for the Democrats on their ballot, while 44% would vote for the Republicans. That's not inconsequential. When including those who would, the leaners, we call them the leaners, the other number was definitive. I'm voting, and I'm voting 48% plus 4 for the Democrats. Now, if you add the leaners, then the Democrats go to 50%, and the Republican support only goes to 45. It becomes a 5-point lead. It goes 50-45. This is a 7-point swing against the Republicans since February. It's only, right? We're talking 60 days. Before Trump was inaugurated, right? In those days where everybody thought, those idyllic days where everybody thought we were going to be running through the Garden of Eden when Trump was elected. Not me, wearing French, where am I? Some sort of Grecian toga and being fed grapes. Remember those days? Trump's going to be so great for the economy. That was the only thing that we voted for him for. It's the only thing that he's found a way to completely and utterly screw up, which is no surprise. Just a side note, he's the only person in the world that ever lost money 3 times running a casino and went bankrupt with house money. What did you think he was going to do with the house money of the United States economy? But let me return to the polling. Back in pre-election, this was the polling. It was 51% Republican and 44% Democrat. So if you ask people at the time of the election, right, after Trump won, who are you going to vote for? Snap poll right now. Who are you going to vote for at midterms? They were like 51% Republican, R, Democrats, 44. We're up 7 points. Woo, suck it. I don't know about the suck it part, but that's what it sounded like to me. Now it's Democrats up 5 points. That's the 12-point swing that's there. And this has got to freak out the Trump administration. It's even above the margin of error, which is 3 points. The GOP is now seen as of the April 13th polling and this is for the first time in 4 years, first time since May of 2021, like during COVID-y times, the GOP, the Republican Party, is now seen as less trustworthy than the Democrats when it comes to the nation's finances. Of course, who would support them to be the stewards of our economy and our money? Of course, they're going to be seen as less reliable. And I know Donald Trump doesn't realize this, but every major presidential candidate has realized that it's the economy, stupid. That's what America cares about. It's kitchen table politics. It's purse and wallet politics. According to a poll of CNBC, so business-oriented people, 43% approve of Trump's handling of the economy and 55% disapprove. I'm surprised it's not higher. I think that's underreporting that. This is an extremely negative review of the Republican and the Republican-led administration, plain and simple. And now we have to see as we get to the midterm elections in November 2026. It's like right around the corner. I know it sounds like it's really far away and it can't come sooner for most of us. But a year from this Thanksgiving, and even before that, in campaigning and voting registration, we're going to have the opportunity to pull the switch. I'd like to pull a switch on Donald Trump and flush the toilet and get rid of the Republicans. Give me the House and the Senate, and we'll give you an impeachment and a conviction. And even if you don't care about impeachment and conviction of Donald Trump, you just want to rein in his lawlessness, then you got to give the House and the Senate over to the Democrats. It's the only way you can signal in advance of the presidential election in 2028 your feelings about this guy, searing in your memory of what he's doing and his lawlessness and his attacks on America, and more importantly, attacks on our Constitution. I know that's like an esoteric concept. What does it mean, Popok? Attacks on the Constitution. I keep hearing about a war on the Constitution. You say we're the foot soldiers of the Constitution. What does it mean? It means if you love this country, if you love its foundations, if you love what other people around the world see as the competitive advantage of America and its democracy and its uniqueness, right? It is our commitment to justice, to the Bill of Rights, to a system of government that's not supposed to fall and hasn't fallen before, like we've watched our European allies and European neighbors. We're not supposed to admire the dictator of El Salvador, Bukele. We're not supposed to admire the prime minister of Italy, okay? It used to be every 6 months they'd have a new prime minister. We're supposed to admire our own liberty, our own justice, our own democracy, our own brand of democracy. It's a constitutional republic, as Ben Franklin was heard to say, coming out of some of the halls that created these documents. Dr. Franklin, what is it? What is America? It's a constitutional republic if you can keep it. And this is the fight we've been doing right now. It's the Franklin fight over our democracy and keeping our constitutional republic. Donald Trump wants to delete the Constitution from the republic. They go hand in glove. I know that if Donald Trump could, like making a paper doll, could cut out the Constitution, his version of the Constitution, and I'm sure his MAGA base would agree, only has 2 components to it. Only 2. He'd cut out everything else like a crazy paper doll. It would only have Article 2, the power of the presidency, and the Second Amendment, everything 2. Second Amendment right to bear arms and the Article 2. Forget about Article 1, the power of Congress, Article 3, the power of the federal courts, the Supreme Court cases that support the Supreme Court having a role in checking and balancing the presidency. Forget all that. The Bill of Rights, forget it. Fifth Amendment privilege out the door. First Amendment privilege and the freedom of the press out the door. Maybe to get votes, he'd leave in the part of the First Amendment about a religion. That's about it. So we'll continue to follow the polling because it matters. And it matters in this fellowship and community that we're building here on Legal AF. I'm doing my part. I hope you feel that way. I'm doing the content, curating. I brought on some amazing contributors here. Shan Wu, former general counsel for the Attorney General of the United States. Dina Dahl, amazing legal commentator, constitutional scholar. Got Mike Sachs, constitutional scholar. Got all the court accountability action people. Alex Aronson, Lisa Graves. She served all three branches of government. She's coming up with a new podcast with us in reflection of that. We've got two people over that you love, Dave Arenberg and Melba Pearson, over from What Was True Crime. Brought them over. Have I left anybody out? I don't think so. But I've got another podcast I'm working on bringing over, and two amazing contributors. One from an amazing law school. You're going to love her work. And I got a whole nother group. But in order to do it, you got to give me the power that I need. You got to give me the juice. And the way you give me the power and the juice is to continue to grow this pro-democracy channel and hit the subscribe button. I get to 1 million. You give me 1 million subscribers before our year anniversary, and I will give you an amazing panoply of content right here on Legal AF. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. And I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.